Good day, everyone. By the way, my name is Manilin Suazo, a second-year student of Bachelor of Science in Criminology. So today I will be discussing my chosen topic, which is related Philippine laws that promotes nationalism and patriotism. Republic Act number 10086. An act is strengthening people's nationalism through Philippine history by changing the nomenclature of the National Historical Institute into the National Historical Commission of the Philippines, strengthening its powers and functions, and for other purposes, also known as the Philippine Cultural Heritage Act of 2010. Republic Act 8044, also known as Youth in Nation Building Act, an act creating the National Youth Commission, establishing a national comprehensive and coordinated program on youth development, appropriating funds, therefore, and for other purposes. Republic Act number 1425, an act to include in the curricula of all public and private schools, colleges, and universities courses on the life, works, and writings of Jose Rizal, particularly his novels Nole Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, authorizing the printing and distribution thereof and for other purposes. The 1987 Constitution, Republic Act number 10390, an act amending Republic Act number 7306, entitled An Act Providing for the Establishment of the People's Television Network Incorporated, defining its powers and functions, providing for its sources of funding, and for other purposes, also known as an act revitalizing the People's Television Network Incorporated. Republic Act number 9512, approved last December 12, 2008, also known as an act to promote environmental awareness through environmental education and for other purposes, or the National Environmental Awareness and Education Act of 2002. It is an act to promote environmental awareness through environmental education and covers the integration of EE in the school curricula at all levels, be in public or private, including daycare, preschool, non-formal, technical, vocational, indigenous learning, and out-of-school youth courses or programs. Section 6 of the Act says that the DepEd, CHED, TESDA, DENR, DOST, and other relevant agencies, in consultation with experts on the environment and the academy, shall lead in the implementation of public education and awareness programs on environmental protection and conservation through collaborative interagency and multi-sectoral efforts at all levels. It also declares November as the Environmental Awareness Month in the Philippines. Gender and Development. Philippine Commission on Women defined gender and development as the development perspective and process that is participatory and empowering, equitable, sustainable, free from violence, respectful of human rights, supportive of self-determination and actualization rules and relations. Gender and development approach focuses on the socially constructed basis of differences between men and women and emphasizes the need to challenge existing gender roles and relations. G- GAD was developed in the 1980s as an alternative to the women in development approach. Unlike WID, the GAD approach is not concerned specifically with women, but with the way in which a society assigns roles, responsibilities, and expectations to both women and men. GAD applies gender analysis to uncover the ways in which men and women work together, presenting results in neutral terms of economic and efficiency. The World Bank was one of the first international organizations to recognize the need for women in development, appointing a WID advisor in 1977. In 1984, the bank mandated that its program consider women's issues. In 1994, the bank issued a policy paper on gender and development, reflecting current thinking on the subject. This policy aims to address policy and institutional constraints that maintain these disparities between the gender and thus limit the effectiveness of development programs. Gender and development is concerned with women and her specific roles, responsibilities, and expectation in the society. It also analyzes the nature of women's contribution within the context of work done both inside and outside the household and reflects the public or private dichotomy that undervalues the work done by women in the home. GAD focuses on the principle that development is for all. Everyone in society, female or male, has the right to equal opportunities to achieve a full and satisfying life. It does not define the following: not a war of the sexes, not anti male. Both women and men are victims, although women more than men. Both have a stake in the struggle for gender equality. Gender and development related laws and issuance in the Philippines. Philippines Plan for Gender and Development from 1995 to 2025. National plan that addresses, provides, and pursues full equality and development for men and women. Approved and adopted by former President Fidel V. Ramos as Executive Number 273 on September 8, 1995. It is the successor of the Philippine Development Plan for Women from 1989 to 1992, adopted by Executive Number 348 of February 17, 1989. Republic Act Number 9710, Magna Carta of Women, approved on August 14, 2009, which mandates for non-discriminatory and pro-gender equality and equity measures to enable women's participation in the formulation, implementation, and evaluation of policies and plan for national, regional, and local development. Memorandum Circular Number 2 2011-01 dated October 21, 2011, addressing to all government departments, including their attached agencies, offices, bureaus, state universities and colleges, government-owned and controlled corporations, and all other government instrumentalities as their guidelines and procedures for the establishments is strengthening and institutionalizing institutionalization of the gender and development focal points system. Republic Act 7877, Anti-Sexual Harassment Act of 1995. It is an act declaring sexual harassment unlawful in the employment, education, or training environment and for other purposes was approved on February 14, 1995 and became effective on March 5, 1995. Republic Act 9262, Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children Act of 2004. It protects the family and its members, particularly women and children, from violence and threats to their personal safety and security. Republic Act 7192, Women in Development and Nation Building Act. The Act provides guidance and measures that will mobilize and enhance participation of women in the development process in a way equal to that of men. Memorandum Circular Number 48 Series of 2013, directing all concerned government agencies to adopt the gender equality guidelines in the development of their respective media policies and implementing programs in order to promote gender mainstreaming. Republic Act 10354, the Responsible Parenthood and Reproductive Health Act of 2012, or the RH Law. It is a law in the Philippines which guarantees a universal access to methods on contraception, fertility control, sexual education, and maternal care. 1987 Philippine Constitution, Article 2, Section 14. The state recognizes the role of women in nation building and shall promote the fundamental equality before the law of women and men. So, sex and gender, how do they differ? An extremely important part of an individual's identity and one that begins at least at birth is gender. It is more than just knowing that you are male or female. Identification of sex is usually clearly internalized by the age of 3 but begins around the age of 18 months. So, what is gender? Gender refers to the specific set of characteristics that identifies the social behavior of women and men and the relationship between them. Gender alludes that simply to women or men, but the relationship between them and the way it is socially constructed. Since gender biases exist and these biases prevent people from attaining their full potentials, development is impeded. For sex, it is categorized as male or female, biological, fixed at birth, does not change across time and space, and equally valued. For gender, masculinity and femininity, socially, culturally, and historically determined, learned through socialization, varies over time and space, unequally valued or masculinity as the norm. Gender identity or gender role includes knowledge of a large set of rules and expectations for what boys and girls should wear, how they should speak and act, and their place in the overall structures of the society. It can be affected by First, race. Each of the major divisions of humankind having distinct physical characteristics. Second, ethnicity. The fact or state of belonging to a social group that has a common national or cultural tradition. Next is social class, a division of a society based on social and economic status, upper class, new money, middle class, working class, working poor, and poverty level. Next is religion, a particular system of faith and worship. Geographical religion, a demarcated area of the earth. So, common myths about gender. If a father does the household work, he is considered as under the saya. Men are better leaders and administrators than women. It is the woman's fault if she is being harassed sexually when she is wearing skimmy clothes. It is not proper for a girl to say I love you first to a boy. The mother should be the only one responsible for child rearing and parenting. So, terms related to gender. So, there are five terms related to gender. First is socialization. When we say socialization, it is the process by which social norms, rules, and expectations are learned and internalized. When we say gender socialization, it is a process by which norms and expectations in relation to gender are learned by women and men. Next is gender stereotype. It is a form of prejudgment, bias, or limitation to rules and expectations of males and females. This may affect the gender equality and inequality in the society. Gender equality gives men and women the entitlement to all aspects of human development. Gender inequality refers to unequal treatment or perceptions of individuals based on their gender. So, gender stereotype involves the differentiations attributed by a given culture to women and men in the following aspects. First is social rules, second, capacities, third is traits and characteristics. So, gender is stereotype in social rules between men and women. For men, it provides financially for the family, works as managers, construction builders, or engineers, portrayed as leaders. For women, it takes care of the house and children, works as a nurse, teacher, secretary, portrayed as followers. Gender stereotype in capacities between men and women. For men, it good in math and science. It could be physically strong. It could be firm decision makers. For women, it good in arts and less intellectual pursuits. It may be physically weaker and fragile. It could be wishy or washy or fickle-minded in decision making. So, gender stereotype in traits and characteristics between men and women. For men, it could be active, aloof, aggressive, independent, and brave. For women, it could be passive, loving, peaceful, dependent, and fearful. Areas or channel of socialization. According to Dr. Ralph G. Pereno, family, schools, peers, mass media, public opinion, and religion play a major role in the socialization and ultimately the education progress. Each of us proceeds through life in a manner that we often believe is under our immediate culture and influence. It seems logical that the actions we take and the impact of those actions is based upon a series of logical, rational decisions selected and filtered by choice, not chance. Although this seems a reasonable manner in which to assess one's lot in life, it is far from reality, particularly in the area of education. One of the most dramatic impacts on a child's education is that of the socialization process from family, from church, mass media, school, and peers. So, family. In the context of human society, a family is a group of people related either by consanguinity or by recognized birth, affinity or by marriage or other relationship, or co-residents, relatives, and servants. It is also known as the basic unit for raising children. In most societies, the family is the principal institution for the socialization of children. So, there are two types of family. First is immediate family and extended family. When we say immediate family, it may include spouses, parents, brothers, sisters, sons, and daughters. When we say naman extended family, may include grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, nephews, nieces, and siblings-in-law. Sometimes, these are also considered members of the immediate family, depending on an individual's specific relationship between bet- specific relationship with them. So, general classification of family structures. So there are 10 general classification of family structures. First is matrifocal family. This is a kind of family occurs commonly where women have the resources to rear their children by themselves or where men are more mobile than women, opposite of patrifocal family. Next is patriarchal family. Is a family in which the father is considered head of household. This is true regardless of which parents is the primary breadwinner in house with a working mom and stay-at-home dad, also known as father-centered family or father-dominated family, opposite of matriarchal family. Conjugal family or nuclear family or single family. A traditional form of family that includes only the husband, the wife, and unmarried children who are not of age. Avuncular family. A family composed of a grandparent, a brother, his sister, and her children. Childish family. It is sometimes the forgotten family, as it does not meet the traditional standards set by society. Childish families consist of a husband and wife living and working together. Many children's facilities, families take on the responsibility or pet ownership or have extensive contact with their nieces and nephews as a substitute for having their own children. Extended family. Family that extends beyond the nuclear family, including grandparents, aunts, uncles, and other relatives who all live nearby or in one household. Family of choice or chosen family is common within the LGBT community, both in academic literature and in colloquial vocabulary. It refers to the group of people in an individual's life that satisfies the typical rule of family as a support system. Blended family or step family. describes families with mixed parents, one or both parents remarried, bringing children of the former family into the new family. Monogamous family is, in this case, an individual has only one or official partner during their lifetime or at any one time. Polygamous family, a family composed of marriage that includes more than two partners. Polygamy, a man is married to more than one wife at a time, which is common in some parts of Middle East and Africa and is often associated with Islam. Polyandry, when a woman is married to more than one husband at a time, traditionally practiced in areas of the Himalayan mountains, among Tibetans in Nepal, in parts of China and its parts of northern India. Fraternal polyandry, where two or more brothers are married in the same wife. Polyamory, if a marriage includes multiple husbands and wives, group of conjoined marriage. So process involves in gender socialization in the family. Manipulation means that people handle girls and boys differently as infants. Canalization means that people direct children's attention to gender appropriate object. Verbal affiliation, telling children what they are and what is expected of them. Activity exposure, familiarizing children to their gender appropriate task. Next is church or religion. It is a collection of cultural system, belief system, and worldviews that relate humanity to spirituality and moral values. Gender rules in Christianity vary considerably today as they have during the last two millennia. This is especially true with regards to marriage and ministry. So, effects of religion, mga epekto. Regular attendance at religious services is linked to healthy, stable family life, strong marriages, and well-behaved children. Religious